Welcome to Channel News U. Today's topic. Over the past day, the armed forces of Ukraine shot down enemy Su-25 and Su-24 aircraft. This is stated in the report of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine as of 6 o'clock, November 29. The Russian occupiers focused their efforts on restraining the actions of the defense forces of Ukraine. The enemy continues redeploying personnel and military equipment to replenish the units that suffered losses. It is expected that some enemy units will be redeployed from the territory of the Republic of Belarus after they acquire combat capabilities, the report reads. Over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian troops repelled Russia's attacks in the areas of Novoselivske, Bilohorivka in Luhansk region, Serebryanka, Verkhniokamyanske, Bilohorivka, Yakovlivka, Pervomaiske, Opytne, Nevelske, Krasnohorivka in Donetsk region. The enemy launched 9 missile strikes, 13 airstrikes, and more than 50 MLRS attacks on the positions of Ukrainian troops and populated settlements. There is still a threat of Russian missile strikes on critical infrastructure facilities throughout Ukraine. In Volyn and Polishcha directions, the situation has not changed significantly. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups have been detected. In Seversky direction, mortar and artillery shelling was recorded in the areas of Senkivka, Chernihiv region, Serebryanka, Novoselivske, Roskovichy, Sumy region. In Slobozansky direction, the areas of the settlements of Stryleka, Staritsya, Ohertseve, Budarki, Chihunivka and Ambarn in Kharkiv region came under mortar and rocket artillery fire. In Kupiansk direction, the enemy defends previously occupied lines. The invaders fired artillery of various types on the areas of Bolohivka, Kamyanka, Kupiansk, Tabaivka, Krokmaln and Berestov settlements in Kharkiv region. In Lyman direction, the enemy focuses its main efforts on conducting offensive operations. The Russians fired artillery on the areas of Makiivka, Nevsk, Bilohorivka settlements in Luhansk region, Yakovlivka, Torsky settlements in Donetsk region. In Bakhmut and Avdiivka directions, the Russian occupiers continue to focus their main efforts on offensive operations. The objects in the areas of Serebryanka, Spurn, Yakovlivka, Bakhmutsk, Bakhmut, Opytne, Klishchivka, Andrivka, Kurdyamivka, Vasil, Avdiivka, Vodian, Pervomaiske, Krasnohorivka, Korakov, Marinka and Novomykhailivka settlements in Donetsk region were hit with tanks and artillery. In Novoselivske direction, the enemy fired artillery on the areas of Volodar, Novokranka, Prikostivka, Zolota Niva, and Neskiny settlements in Donetsk region. In Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers defend themselves. The Russians fire mortars, tube and rocket artillery on the positions of the defense forces of Ukraine and the populated settlements of the region, which are not far from the contact line. The civilian infrastructure of Dnipro city was hit with enemy missiles. In Kryvyi Rih and Kherson directions, the occupiers hold positional defense, fire artillery on Ukrainian troops and populated settlements on the right bank of the Dnipro River, including the city of Kherson. In the temporarily occupied territory of Luhansk region, the occupiers carry out the so-called nationalization of the property of agro-industrial enterprises. In particular, in the settlement of Bilohorivka, harvest and equipment are taken away from local agricultural companies. The enemy continues to suffer losses. A strike on the area of deployment of a Russian unit in the town of Svatov, Luhansk region, was confirmed. According to preliminary information, the enemy lost up to 20 soldiers killed and more than 30 wounded. In the temporarily occupied territory of Kherson region, the enemy is strengthening the administrative police regime. It is planned to replace some units of the armed forces of the Russian Federation with the Russian Guard units. Over the past day, the aviation of the Defense Forces of Ukraine launched 3 strikes on the areas of enemy personnel, weapons and military equipment clusters.